San Diego State spent the first half of the season raising hopes and building dreams. The Aztecs piled up win after win, 6 straight while moving into the national rankings, breathing life into the season, as if they were inflating a ballroom full of balloons for a most special occasion. All the air has escaped the past 2 weeks with a pair of losses. Fresno State was in command throughout Saturday night's Mountain West game before a crowd of 43,243, beating the Aztecs 27-3 at SDCCU Stadium. "We're not responding very well right now to adversity," SDSU safety Trey Lomax said. "We get down and things just kind of fall apart. We came in, we thought we were prepared, and we just got dominated." And just like that, SDSU stated goal to number WIN22, the hashtag in reference to earning the 22nd conference title in school history, went from right on schedule to all but out the window. How difficult has the task become for SDSU? The Aztecs, 6-2, 2-2 MW, would need to win all 4 of their remaining conference games and still need the Bulldogs, 5-2, 4-0, to lose 3 of their next 4 games in order to earn a berth in the Mountain West Championship game for the 3rd straight season. Fresno State has taken command of the conference's West Division, leading the Aztecs by 2 games and every other team in the division by at least 3 games. It's effectively a 3-game lead over SDSU as well, given the Bulldogs now own the tiebreaker edge over the Aztecs. "Obviously, we didn't play very well, and we haven't played very well for the last 2 weeks," SDSU head coach Rocky Long said. "If I knew why, obviously, we would have fixed it. Since we didn't fix it, it's obviously a coaching error. We're not approaching them the right way, or we're not teaching them what we want them to do the right way, because they're not playing at a very high level." For the 2nd straight game, SDSU burst its own balloon in the opening period. Last week against Boise State, it was a punt and a fumble return for touchdowns in the first quarter that aided the Broncos in their 31-14 win. This week against Fresno State, it was a first-quarter fumble that, if not as costly, seemed similarly deflating. SDSU went on one of its 16-play, use-up-the-clock drives on the game's opening possession, consuming 7 minutes, 56 seconds, while moving inside Fresno State's 10-yard line. The Aztecs came up empty, however, when running back Rashad Penny fumbled on 3rd and goal from the 9-yard line, and the Bulldogs recovered the ball. "I thought tonight was going to be okay," Long said, "because we did what we normally do, we drove the ball right down the field. Then we messed that up with fumbling the ball down there, so we came away with no points, and after that everything kind of looked like last week." Fresno State took control over the next 1.5 quarters, combining a productive passing game with an effective running game to build a 17-3 halftime lead. The Bulldogs were noted for going over the top of the defense this season, with 4 receivers who have receptions of 63 yards or longer. Fresno State quarterback Marcus McMaryian set up the team's first touchdown with a 48-yard pass to Jameer Jordan that put the Bulldogs on the SDSU 1-yard line. Running back Josh Hockett carried it in on the next play for a 7-0 lead. In the opening moments of the second quarter, SDSU running back Juwan Washington provided a spark with a 45-yard carry, his longest run of the year, but the drive stalled, and the Aztecs had to settle for a 37-yard John Barron 2-field goal that made it 7-3. Fresno State came right back. McMaryian hit Damari Scott with a 30-yard pass, and 3 plays later Hockett broke an arm tackle on the way to a 26-yard touchdown. SDSU's defense limited Fresno State to a 38-yard field goal by Camacho with 2:05 remaining in the half, but it still gave the Bulldogs a 14-point lead. How balanced were the Bulldogs? They had 104 yards passing and 103 yards rushing in the first half. And Fresno State was playing without leading rusher Ronnie Rivers, who suffered an elbow injury in last week's win over New Mexico. SDSU managed 155 yards of offense in the first half, more than half of it, 83 yards, coming on the Aztecs' first drive. They would finish with 255 yards for the game. In the locker room at halftime, Long said he told the players there remained an opportunity for us to get back out there and show what kind of competitors we were and turn this thing around and win the game. And then I actually thought we were going to. The Aztecs forced a 3-and-out after Fresno State opened the second half with the ball. Then SDSU's Quest Truxton returned the Bulldogs' punt to midfield. And we were unable to do anything with it, Long said. Fresno State got points out of its next possession when Camacho booted a 43-yard field goal, preceded by a 24-yard pass from McMary into Scott to boost the Bulldogs' advantage to 23. A 4-yard Huckett touchdown run, set up by a 33-yard pass from McMary into Keyshawn Johnson, made it 27-3. SDSU quarterback Christian Chapman completed 10 of 20 passes for 77 yards before being replaced in the fourth quarter by backup Ryan Agnew. Penny carried 15 times for 69 yards, failing to rush for more than 100 yards for the second straight game after doing it each week over the season's first 6 games. Washington carried 7 times for 68 yards. McMary completed 10 of 16 passes for the Bulldogs for 176 yards. While Huckett scored all 3 of Fresno State's touchdowns, Jordan Miles led the Bulldogs with 112 yards on 21 carries. Huckett carried 14 times for 77 of Fresno State's 199 rushing yards. SDSU's struggles were not received well by those sitting in the stands. Fans booed when a couple of running plays went nowhere with 5 minutes remaining in the third quarter. Many fans headed for the exits moments later. Maybe they couldn't stand to see Fresno State players hoist the old oil can that goes to the winner of this rivalry game. It's great to see them hold that up, have pride in it, and be able to take it back home, Fresno State head coach Jeff Tedford said of his players. The first-year coach, hired to turn around a program that had just 4 wins over the past 2 seasons, was most impressed with the Bulldogs' defense. That's a tough offense right there, to be able to stop and try to make them one-dimensional, Tedford said. That always helps when you can play a team game and get a lead. Then it turns them into somebody that they don't really want to be, and that's throwing the football. I thought we pressured the passer really well too. We put some heat on him and then let him sit back there. Excellent job by our defense. It was the first time since a 23-6 loss to BYU in the 2012 Pensaccia Bowl, a span of 62 games, that the Aztecs were held without a touchdown. SDSU is bowl eligible for the 8th straight season, but the Aztecs' opportunity to play for a 3rd straight conference title is now out of their hands. SDSU finishes out the regular season with road games at Hawaii, 3-4, 1-3, and San Jose State, 1-7, 0-4, and home games against Nevada, 1-7, 1-3, and New Mexico, 3-4, 1-3. Fresno State's remaining schedule includes conference games at home against UNLV and Boise State, 5-2, 3-0, which beat Wyoming 24-14 on Saturday night, and road games against Hawaii and Wyoming, 4-3, 2-1. While SDSU's chances of winning the conference remain mathematically possible, they became a heck of a lot more remote. If we knew what was wrong, we wouldn't be in this position, Lomax said. It's definitely something that we've got to figure out if we want to have a chance to win games. We don't have the answers right now, but we've got to figure it out. SDSU football, number 22 Aztecs 28, Air Force 24. Caption: SDSU football, number 22 Aztecs 28, Air Force 24. SDSU gets another hoops commit, Jordan Campbell. Aztecs, a conversation with QB Christian Chapman.